This is a little video snippet about writing a logical argument. A logical argument has three parts to it: a claim statement, definition of terms, and some evidence, usually at least one sentence for each part. So let's look at an example. I might say, this is a pen. I've made a claim. This is a pen. But what if I've never seen a pen before, or I don't speak English? What is it that makes this a pen? How would I figure out if something else is a pen, right? Why? What's my evidence that this is a pen? There's no argument there if I just make a claim and say this is a pen. I could be mean and just kind of say it's a pen, because duh, or I could be like some adults and go, because I said so, but that's not very helpful. So we're going to define our terms. So this is a pen. A pen is a handheld tool that leaves a trail of ink as it's moved across the surface. So now I've defined my terms, but I'm sort of leaving it up to you to figure out whether this really does that or not. You just sort of have to take my word for it. If you don't actually know how to use this and you try to, move it across the surface, it's not leaving any ink behind, right? So I need to give some evidence to support how this actually fits the definition that I just gave. Some evidence to support my claim. If you really want to get fancy, that's called a warrant in a logical argument. So I might say, this is a pen. A pen is a handheld tool that leaves a trail of ink as it's moved across the surface. As I move this pen in my hand across the paper, it leaves a trail of blue ink behind, right? So now I've given a logical argument. I've made a claim, I've given you a definition, and then I've shown you how this particular object fits my definition. So therefore I'm backing up my claim. So this format for a logical argument, this isn't specific to science. This is any logical argument. So especially in a legal venue or in humanities, if you're arguing about religions and politics and that sort of thing, in English class, if you're trying to argue that an author has a particular theme for a certain work or is writing in a particular style, this is just any logical argument has these pieces to it. So a claim statement, a definition of terms, and some evidence. And I'm going to expand on this just a smidge and show you the power of how you define your terms and use your evidence. Right? This is where people get paid the big bucks to get kind of sneaky on stuff sometimes. So I might make an argument and say, this is a pen. A pen is a handheld tool that leaves a trail of ink as it's moved across the surface. But this pen doesn't leave any physical ink behind, right? There's nothing happening on the paper as I move this pen across it, because this is a digital pen. A pen is a handheld tool that leaves a trail of ink as it's moved across the surface. As I hold this pen in my hand and I move it across this tablet surface with the help of a little bit of software, it leaves behind a trail of digital ink. Okay, so this, I can still argue, is a pen under my definition of what a pen is. Under my definition of a pen, if this, the traditional pen, had run out of ink, or if the ink dried so that it wasn't working correctly, it would no longer be called a pen. Okay, so see how the power of your definition really suits your argument. Okay, you can control your logical argument by defining your terms carefully. So we're going to be classifying a bunch of substances in our first lab as we learn about different kinds of types of substances. But we're going to start with a little introduction. So you're going to write a logical argument to classify yourself. So as you start the assignment and you read down through, you'll see an example of where Mrs. Moore classified herself as a geek.